Hello, this is the first chapter that we are going to cover in compensation management. The topic of this chapter is the pay model. These are the learning outcomes of this chapter. First, we are going to see how compensation is viewed by different stakeholders, the society, managers, employees, everyone. Then we are going to discuss about the major components of the total returns for work. We are going to describe the strategic policies in the pay model, and finally we are going to discuss the objectives of compensation in the pay model. So first of all, let's see how compensation is viewed by different stakeholders. So if we talk about the employees at first, the employees view compensation as something which is paid to them as a result of the job that they are doing. So they are putting in effort, and in return they are getting the compensation. So it is something that is given in exchange for the time and the effort that they provide to the organizations. So we have that explanation over here. Then if we turn to the next stakeholder, the managers. So the managers view compensation as something that is being paid to the employees, and the managers are doing the job in the organization, and their responsibility is to get the job done by the employees. So the managers have pressure from different stakeholders, like they have a pressure to do the job in the most efficient manner, and also they need to keep their employees motivated with the compensation that is being provided to them. Next, if we look at the stockholders. So who are the stockholders? The stockholders are actually the owners of the company. So they are ultimately paying the compensation to the employees, the salaries. So they think of the compensation as an expenditure, and they want to get the compensation, the pay that they are getting. They want to get their return from the employees, the pay that they are giving to the employees. So that is how the stockholders view compensation. Then we have the society. So if you think about the society views compensation as something, as a measurement of the status and other aspects of the people in the society. So someone who is doing more hard work gets paid more, and that person gets to enjoy a more fulfilling life. So that is how the society views compensation. And lastly, the stakeholder or the viewpoint that we have, that is the global perspective. So globally, compensation varies from one region to another region. All of us know that. We know that the type of compensation and the amount of compensation and the components of compensation that are being paid to the employees, that changes from one country to another country. Why is this so? It's because the rules, regulations vary from country to country, and the culture also varies. The needs of the people vary. So as a result, the type of compensation that is provided, that also changes from one country to another country. Now let's look at the forms of pay. So the forms of pay are classified into relational returns mainly, and other types of returns, total compensation. So first, if we look at the total compensation, that is composed of certain things, like it's made up of the cash compensation, and it's made of, the other part is the non-cash compensation, or it is also known as the benefits. So we can see the total returns that the people get from the organization. So this gives us an idea of the total returns. So here you can see that the total returns are composed of the total compensation and the relational returns, and the total compensation is again broken down into cash compensation and benefits. So under cash compensation we have things like the basic pay, the merit increase or the cost of living, short-term and long-term incentives. So we are going to go into details of each of these. And in the benefits part, we have like income protection, work-life balance, allowances, and relational returns are those which are actually not paid directly to the people as a cash, but it's something which the people enjoy when they are working in the organizations. So it's made up of recognition, employment security, working challenging work, and learning opportunities and other things. So if we look at the cash compensation, what does it comprise of? So it consists of a basic pay. What is a basic pay? Basic pay is something which is paid to the people based on the job that they are doing. So depending on the type of job, the extent of work that they have to do, the amount of skills that the person needs to have, all these things determine the basic pay of the employees. So someone who needs more skills, like say a physician or a business executive, will definitely get a higher basic pay than someone who is doing a job which requires basic, say, manual skills, like a person working in the factory. Then along with that, we have the merit increase, which is actually an increment to the people that are given every year, or it could be like once in 2 years, depending on the company policy. So it's called merit increase because it depends on the person's skills and the knowledge level. And then we have the cost of living adjustment. The cost of living adjustment is an adjustment that is given to the employee's salary, that is made to the employee's salary because the employee's salary is subjected to inflation. So someone who is earning 100 taka this year, the purchasing power that the employee will have, it will not be the same if the person is still earning 100 taka in the next year, because there is an inflation in the economy. So the inflation will actually decrease the purchasing power of the person's salary. As a result, the cost of living adjustment needs to be given. So it's directly related with the inflation rate. Besides this, we have other components of compensation, which includes like incentives. So we all know that incentives are provided to the employees for the primary reason is to motivate the employees. So incentives can be cash incentives, like it could be bonuses or one-time incentives, or it could be like continuous incentives given on a regular basis. So incentives are classified into two categories. One is long-term and other one is short-term. So short-term incentives are those which are given to the employees within a year. So it could be a yearly bonus or a monthly bonus that might be given to the employees, the salespeople. And long-term incentives are those which are given to the employees over 1 year or more. So it's given to motivate the employees. As you can see, it encourages the employees to focus on multi-year results. That means the employees' focus would be on a long-term basis. Then we have other types of benefits like income protection. So what is an income protection? So because of any reason, if an employee is not able to work, or if the employee retires, then the employee will get certain benefits, and those are known as income protection. So it includes things like the health insurance, dental insurance, pensions, all these things. These are part of the income protection. We also have them in our country, in Bangladesh, like we have health insurance coverage, we have pension, we have gratuity, all these things. Next we have a work-life balance, which is also considered as a benefit. So those who are working in the organizations, they are working continuously. Now if they have to work for long hours, then definitely they will get exhausted. They can't give time to their family or for their personal life. So that is a problem for the people. So as a result, the organizations need to design the work in such a way so that there is a work-life balance for the people. In order to ensure this, the organizations also provide them vacations and other facilities. Besides this, if employees are having any other issues, like if they have problems with like drug abuse, or if they have problems with their child or with elder member of their family, so support might be given by the organizations for these areas as well. And then we have allowances which are provided to the employees. So allowances are things like one time, if an employee is moving, or it could be a continuous thing, if an employee is moving from one part of the country to another part of the country, the employee might be given an allowance for shifting from one place to another place. Or allowances might be given to the employees when they are working in a remote area, so that is called an allowance as well. So these are the parts of the total compensation. And we have relational returns, which is the next thing, which organizations provide to the employees in the working in the organization. So what are relational returns? So these are important part of the organization's offer that they give, because the employees work in the organizations and they expect certain things, like they want certain facilities and like growth opportunities, these types of things. So all these are known as all these are called relational returns. So it could be an opportunity to learn new skills which will help the employees to make their job better and to go to higher level. It is also like the job satisfaction that the person derives from the work. So whether the job is interesting or not, or it is very boring, these things are also part of the thing, the offer that the organization gives to the employees. So the organization needs to look after these as well. All these are known as relational returns. And learning opportunities. People work in the organizations and they want to learn from the organization, from the job that they are doing. So whether there is adequate opportunity for learning new skills, whether there are training opportunities or not, all these things are part of the relational returns. So next we have the pay model. Let's look at the pay model.